मी दाखवायला आले होते तेच मी दाखवायला आले होते.
Now, when we are talking about parents and their kids, in your opinion, who came first? Parents came first? Parents.
Maybe become parent.
But actually,
Child is the father of man.
that is how he said. But actually, if you see, kids come first. In the sense, you have a man and woman, and the child is born. When the child is born, this man and woman is called father and mother. So after the child is born, they will become father and mother. Before that, they are not parents. So actually, the child comes first. In that, he is senior. Okay. So we'll talk about mental profile, how to parent a child.
Child gives birth to mother.
Absolutely, mother as well as father. Right. Child gives birth. So like I said, the baby gives birth to father and the mother. And we have to understand the parents are junior actually. So the child came maybe a few minutes earlier, and then they were called mother and father. So they are junior. Why? Because so many things we can learn from the child, which I will talk about. Like they have the baby. He has qualities of, he is enlightened. The child is in present. He is not thinking about future or not regretting about past. He is not worrying about anything. Actually, he is like God. So one can learn a lot of things because he is there in the present. That is what enlightenment is all about. When we say he is enlightened person, so he is staying in the present. Now, if you see, a lot of yogic mudras also have been taken from looking. I think so that they have been taken from the child. Like when the child is born, he has this fist like this. His thumb is inside and the fist is like this.
Yeah.
So that is also yogic mudra. Now, and otherwise he is like this when he is sleeping. So that helps the breathing. And sometimes he is like this. This also, there are so many mudras there.
Five elements, on the base of 5 elements.
Yeah, 5 elements. So so many things he is doing correctly. And what happens after that, we will discuss now. Now, see what I'm going to talk about is basically thought process. What thought process we give to a child, that is how he will turn out to be. So what it is very important that the child is fed with right thoughts. Like we always care about feeding the child with good food. But most of the time the parent is not, they are not bothered about feeding him with good thoughts. For example, I was traveling from somewhere and I saw that about 3-year-old girl, small girl, and the mother was trying to feed her. And she was like, she was not willing to eat. And the mother said, "ये खा लो नहीं तो वहाँ से बुआ आ जाएगा. Somebody will come from there." And that child got scared and she started eating.
She created the fear.
Fear, absolutely right. So she created the fear. And why? The problem is the father or mother, when they cannot control the child, when they cannot get the things done from the child the way they want them to do, they will start putting fear in their mind. Now the mother wants the child to eat. She is not willing to eat. So mother doesn't have any idea how to make her eat. So she is putting fear in her mind. It is absolute failure on mother's part that she is not able to convince that child. And what she is doing is she is killing the mental makeup of that child. Because fear is the thing which is introduced by mother and father to a child. And the child remains with the fear. And the people who are successful, if you see the highest guy, he may not have fear. And the varying degree of fear will result into varying degrees of success. If somebody is fearless, he will be more successful. If you look at America, there they don't worry about failures. There if somebody will try something and if he fails for 100 times, he will again try for 100 first time, and people will encourage. He will say, "Good, yeah, you are again trying for 100 first time." In India, they will say, "If you don't understand, 100 times you failed. Now we should stop doing that." Right? So because it is how we are nurtured. Now coming back to the story where the woman, the mother was feeding the child. Now she made sure that her health is taken care of. Physical health, but she actually ruined the mental health because the child got something called fear. The child was introduced to fear.
Yes.
If the mother could have said, "Okay, don't eat, no problem," there would have been some time where the child would have said, "I want to eat now." Child could have got hungry and the child could have said, "I want to eat something," and she could have given the food to the baby. But she didn't wait for that and she created. So most of my parenting lectures I talk about this only. Fear is the biggest cause of failure in life. If you actually ask me, if you see a lot of failures roaming around, so the common denominator will be fear.
Root cause is
fear. And the fear is introduced by mother and father.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest. In fact, I'm in the process of opening up schools for parenting, which is a novel concept. I don't think anywhere in the world, I don't know, at least India, we don't have schools where parents are taught how to parent the child. Because it is a biological process that the child is there. But how to raise him with right thoughts is otherwise, he's just able to get that, not able to get that child to that level of success which he wants to. And he's trying to put him to that level of success and put him negative thoughts. So we'll talk about. Now Buddha was saying, we are what we think, we become what we think. Like there's a book also, Secret, where they talk about thought becomes things. Whatever your thoughts are, they will become things. So thoughts are very powerful. In fact, we are a human tower where we are emitting continuously, we are emitting waves, thoughts. Okay, now Toyota has come up with a chair, you may be knowing, for physically disabled, who are people who are disabled below neck. So they are only able to move their head and everything is immobile. So they have come up with some wheelchair wherein the chair will move right, left, ahead, back based on the thought. So the thought he emits, the chair catches that thought.
Hearts are nothing but energy molecules.
Absolutely, that is catching and taking the chair here and there. So now it is proved that there is something called thought, which is a wave, is a wavelength, which is going somebody. Now you must be thinking something which I am not able to, because I don't know how to read the thought. If I am able to decode that wavelength, I will be able to say that this is what you are thinking. There is one program, I forgot.
That is what AT medicine is based on, that only. The energy level of that person is high. So if you touch that
you
person,
get it.
touches that energy the other person
Okay,
gets.
exactly.
But AT medicine is based on that only.
Right, absolutely. Now, in fact, this science is not yet developed where we are talking about thought and how thoughts are going up. Like people used to say that the sun is rising from east and it's going to west. When who said it is not happening? Somebody came and said sun is stationary, but earth is moving. Who was that? Anybody know?
Yeah.
Earth is moving.
Earth is moving, but who actually discovered this?
Galileo.
Who
Galileo.
I think so.
Galileo.
Galileo, he was
Yeah, I think so.
also
And he was put behind bars.
prosecuted.
Because people never
Yeah.
accepted what nonsense you are talking. They were put behind. So there are this is one thing which is thought process, and that is very much important if we want to make sure that the child goes ahead in life. During his formative years, the thoughts fed to him have to be very right, because the whole life of his is going to be based on this thought process. So we'll come to which age the child actually catches the thoughts and which he keeps there with him permanently. We'll talk.
Edward D. Bonocar,
Hmm.
thinking school life, how to think.
Okay, in America,
Huh?
where it is?
There are many, I think it's from Germany or
Okay.
how to think. That only he teaches.
Very
nothing
good, very
else.
good, excellent.
Nothing else.
See,
Edward D. Bono.
very good. Okay. Now let us talk about when we say a person is successful, because we are looking at our child to be successful, and when he is called successful, he will be having all these things like money, health, relationships, and self-esteem. He will have some value for he's saying I am somebody, I have done something in life. So he has self-esteem. So now these things, if he has to achieve in life, what needs to go into his mind, that we'll talk about. Now there is something called blueprint. When we build a building, there is a blueprint, and based on that blueprint, the building will be built. Right? Now the child, when he is between 3 and 8, the blueprint is made, and that is for life.
Between 3 and 8.
3 and 8. So what happens is, when he is born, okay, we have two minds, subconscious mind and conscious mind, right? Conscious mind and subconscious mind. When the child is born, he has only subconscious mind. He doesn't have conscious mind. Because he doesn't know what is bad, what is right. You give him anything, he will eat. You put him somewhere, he will throw himself down. Because he doesn't know what is logic. Subconscious mind is imagination. He doesn't have any boundaries. Okay? Between 3 and 8, based on the thoughts he gets, he will develop conscious mind. And what happens is, like, if I have to give you an example, it is like an open box where all subconscious thoughts are there. That child is pure. He has only love in his mind. He doesn't have any ill feeling about anybody. So in that box, it is empty, and all love and all good things are there. Now what happens is, whatever thoughts are fed to him, they sit on the top of that box, and they close that box, and that upper wala thing is called conscious mind. It tells him, you cannot do this. Now he has the power to do that, but he is told he cannot do that.
Negative.
Negative. So those restrictions and so conscious mind is prepared by parents. And once the conscious mind comes and sits on the top of that box, all the good qualities are there inside, but he cannot be. He might say, I am not able to do that. I may not be able to do that. He may be able to, but he will feel I will not be able to. I will give a classic example wherein there was a lady eagle who was flying and she was about to deliver baby eagle. So she was flying and urgently she had to deliver. So she came down and she delivered the baby eagle. Okay, but where she delivered that baby, it was amongst chickens. Those hens were roaming around, and the baby grew amongst them only, amongst those hens. And after a few years, that eagle became very giant, and those chickens were small. And one day, what happened was there was one majestic eagle flying in the sky, and all the chickens told him, "See, he looks like you, but you don't dare try to fly like him. You are like amongst one of us. He looks like you, but you cannot do what he is able to." Now he was destined to win, but conditioned to fail. Please understand, he was conditioned to fail because he was told you cannot do that. So this conditioning is done by parents. If you see elephant, a big elephant is tied with a small rope, which he can break like
in the
no
circus
time.
you will see.
In the circus.
Yeah.
But he doesn't try to break that rope. You know why? Because when the elephant is young, a small baby elephant, he is put with a chain. The chain is
lock.
locked and there is a pole there and the chain is tied to his leg. And that baby elephant tries to break that chain. And he is not successful because he is not strong enough to break that chain. Now baby elephant believes, I cannot break this. So the baby grows into a big elephant, he still has that blueprint that I cannot do it.
Program in the mind.
Program. Absolutely right. That's the program. So one that is program.
Development of belief system is extremely
Absolutely right. That is belief.
extremely
It's all about belief.
But in the forest elephant they approve the tree. The circus elephant cannot do it.
They can do it, but this elephant is conditioned because he is a small baby. He is there in the circus only. So he is tied like that. So whenever he grows up also, he thinks I cannot do it. But in the forest, they are not conditioned to that you will be tied up with somebody. So forest, they can do anything.
The mistake of the parents. Parents should motivate the children.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll come to that. There are so many things parents are unknowingly doing, which is even not a worst enemy will do.
But one thing I want
They are not aware.
They are not aware.
Why 3 to 8? Why not mother's womb 0 to 8?
Yes, it is said. See now this what you say research is going on, but it is said that up to 3 years, the child is actually in his last birth, and he is not able to understand what is happening. After 3, he starts getting some sense of what is happening around and starts absorbing things. Okay. Now this blueprint is like we make a blueprint for a building, and the building will be as the blueprint is. Building cannot be different than the blueprint. So the blueprint is very, very important when you are trying to build some building.
Engineer will follow the blueprint and make the construction.
Yeah. So in our case, in the child's case, the blueprint is made by mother and father. So they have to make the blueprint in such a way that the child goes up to be a high-rise building or a big man. Okay, now it is about past conditioning. What that person is conditioned to. If suppose, what happens is, what I was telling you, the fear. Fear is introduced by mother and father. There are 3 people actually who are most important in this fear introduction. First one is parents, mother and father. What happens is the child goes somewhere and the mother will say, "Niche utar jao, gir jaoge." She is introduced.
Police
Police wala is there. Don't do this, don't do that. In fact, it is said that he hears some 63 or 64,000 times no from his parent by the time he touches even 2 or 3 years. So he is conditioned to failure. No, don't do this, don't do this. Now this is one, that is parent. Other one is when he grows up, he goes to school. There are teachers who will tell him that if you don't study, you will fail. They will not say you study and you will come number 1. They will say if you don't study, they are again introducing fear. Negativity. They are not talking positive. And third is our pujaris, religious leaders. They will say if you don't do this, God will be angry. So they put fear of God in the mind because God cannot be angry on anybody. If God has to have that ego, then he is not God. If God has to have anger, he is not God. God is only capable of loving somebody. He is not capable of hating somebody. But people with these pujaris like Asaram Bapus, they are the agents of God. They will put these things in your mind. If God will not like this, God will like this, God will not. What is this? Okay. So these 3 people, these 3 types of people are putting in fear into minds of child.
Mother, father, and the pujari.
Parents, pujari, I mean between teachers also. Teachers also are very much important factor in children's lives. Okay, now we'll talk about first, like we talked about successes, like what is success, money, this, that. So we'll talk about money first, because that is what people take as most important factor for success. So money blueprint also is there. When the child is looking around, when he's at home, and suppose there are few biscuits and the child is eating one, second, third, the mother says, hold on, Sham ke liye bhi rakh do. We'll have these biscuits in the evening also. I want to make sure that the biscuits are available for evening or maybe for tomorrow. The child gets scarcity mentality, scarce mentality, that I don't have enough biscuits.
But actually the mother is right, in the evening also.
Yeah, it is required, I know. But mother should say, don't worry, eat whatever. We learn. See, there are two types of people in the world. The people who are successful, they don't reduce their expenditure, they increase their income. And the people who are not successful, they are looking at staying in the means, whatever I have, let me be within that. So they will always try to cut the expenses. They will not try to look how I can increase my income. So you have to feed the child from childhood only, that you don't worry, whatever you want, get it, but make sure that you go and earn for it. You should fight and get it for you. You should not say, okay, I can't buy Mercedes, let me go by bus. You should tell, see, like people say, they will say Mercedes, see Mercedes and say, I can't afford this. Instead of that, in fact the parent might be saying this, I cannot afford this. But instead of that, the parent should say, how can I afford it? And he should think on those lines. How can I make sure that I get this life? How can I make sure that I buy a flat there? How can I make sure that I can buy this car? So the child is watching the parent. Every step he is watching. Like it is said that kids don't do what you tell them to do. They will do what you do.
Yeah.
Imitation.
They imitate. Because for them, mother, father, they are God. Now we tell the child that you have to talk truth. Don't lie to anybody. Now what happens, the phone comes and the father tells his mother that telling that I am not at home. So the child is looking at his father, for him he is the God, and he sees my father is lying. When father is at home, he is telling my mother to tell the other guy that I am not at home, that means he is lying, so I will also lie. Now father will be perplexed, why this guy is lying? Why, like he goes out and does something wrong, he will lie.
That means he learned from the parents.
Of course, he will follow, he is imitated. He doesn't have this, he has only eyes. He sees that and says, let me do this. Okay, so instead of whatever advice we are giving, we have to make sure that we behave the way we want him to behave.
Practice.
And in front of, we have to be right role model. Now this is what, people, some people talk about 100, some will talk about lakhs, some people talk about loans. When at home, they will arrange a loan, then I have to pay for this. So the child is absorbing everything. Okay, so it is very important. In fact, one of the interviews I had seen that Amir Khan was talking about his the divorce with his wife, Reena. During those times when he divorced Reena. That time he said, Amir Khan. And he said, we have lots of fights. We had lots of fights amongst each other, but we never fought in front of kids.
Yeah.
We were always cordial in front of kids. So our kids are not biased. They are not saying my mummy is right or father, daddy is right. They are okay with both of us, because whatever our differences are between me and Reena, the kids are not at all bothered with that. They should not be pulled into this fight. So they were always cordial with.
But in fact, if the parents they hug each other in front of the kid, that is the best gift they can give to their children.
Absolutely right.
Because they want the kids' parents to be happy.
In fact, I had read somewhere that the best gift a father can give to his child is to love his mother.
Yeah.
If the father loves his mother, that is the best gift the child wants.
Yeah.
Because he loves his mother the most, and he wants his father to love her, that's all. That is what his minimum expectation is. Okay, now if you see all these people who have got money in KBC, like suppose somebody has won lottery ticket, or somebody got some land from his father or grandfather, and they suddenly become rich. You know what happens after a few years to them? Any idea? Now, so this man was earning 20,000 per month, suddenly he got 20 crores from somewhere. After 5 years, what happens?
He will still continue working.
Yeah, but he comes down again, that money is gone somewhere.
Yeah.
Because his blueprint is scarcity. His blueprint is that lack. I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have. The 20 crores will vanish one day. He will buy this, he will buy this, he will buy that, he will invest somewhere and the money is gone.
Because of, no, I don't, because of that.
Yeah, so that blueprint cannot change. It is very difficult to change the blueprint. So it is very important for us to make sure that the child has a right blueprint when he is young. And what happens is they will, because they are thinking, they are so used to that lack mentality. Even if they have money, they will have that mentality and the money. Whatever your thoughts are, thought becomes things. If you are thinking about lack, you will experience lack of money. If you are thinking about abundance, that's what it said, that you have to talk health, happiness and prosperity to everybody you meet. Health, happiness and prosperity. What happens is, suppose I talk to him about somebody's lack of money situation, that also is creating problem in my mind. I should only talk that somebody is prosperous. If somebody is not prosperous, I should say he is going to be, he is on the way, he will be rich. Positive. Like I was watching this movie Guru few days back, where Dhirubhai Ambani, the character of Dhirubhai Ambani goes to Aishwarya Rai's father and says ki, you get her married to me. And he is thinking, should I get her married to him or not? Then this character says, Abhishek Bachchan says, कि बापू इसका शादी मेरे से जल्दी कर दो, 5 साल में मैं बहुत बड़ा आदमी बनने वाला हूँ. I will be very big man within the next 5 years. So he was so convinced that I will be very big person after 5 years. So he became big person. When he got married to Kokila Ben, she has written a book where she has written this incident, where he takes Kokila Ben to that place in Gulf, and on Friday, one of the Fridays where they used to have holidays. So he takes her around the factory, shell factory, and the complete factory he shows to Kokila Ben. Once they come out, Dhirubhai is telling Kokila that one day I will have bigger factory than this. And that time Kokila Ben got scared because she was there with him hardly for 4 or 5 days. And she said, I must have married some madman. But after few days, she realized this guy is going to do it. This guy will have bigger, and today his factory is bigger than she.
Blueprint.
So his blueprint was like that. In fact, there are 2 types. In some houses, there is always scarcity talked about, lack of things talked about. Then the child rebels and he said, no, I am going to be rich. And that is what happened with Dhirubhai and maybe say Daud, because in their homes, there were always lack of something. Lack of money, lack of this, that. Then the child he becomes rebel. Enough of this, I will be very rich. So there are 2 types. One will succumb to that, whatever is fed to him, and he will say, okay, I will be also like that. And one will say, okay, no, enough is enough, I will be rich now. Like there was a person who used to drink every night and go home sozzled completely. So he had 2 sons. One son was completely sober, he never touched alcohol. And other son was drinking every day, like his father. So once somebody asked him, why you are not drinking? So he said, I have seen my father drinking, and I don't want to be like him, that's why I don't want to do. And the other guy said, I saw my father drinking, so I am drinking. So what you take out of what is happening to you, that is also important. So some people take positive out of that, negative also, like Dhirubhai. Now if you see this Richard Branson, Amitabh Bachchan, B.R. Chopra, these 3 examples, one point in time they were zeros. Richard Branson came to zero. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan in 1997, his own bungalow was mortgaged to Canara Bank. He was on the roads in 1997 when ABCL went bust. Right? But he again came up because his blueprint was success, prosperity, success. So he again bounced back. Even B.R. Chopra, when partition happened, they came with nothing, not even bags. B.R. Chopra and his family just came to India. That's all. And now you see the bungalow which B.R. Chopra has again in Juhu Lake. So again he got all the money which they were very rich there. In Pakistan they were very rich. When they came here they were zero, but again they became hero. Now you know this autopilot, no? This flight, they set it and the flight goes on. It is like this. It is autopilot. If you, yeah.
Sir, I just want to ask you, when you say about Richard Branson, Amitabh Bachchan or B.R. Chopra, these people have been down. So they have fought among themselves and came up. So the same thing doesn't happen with a person who having lot of wealth, because he will always think that I have enough of wealth. So he cannot come up. Whereas a person who does not have anything, he always looks at it, yes, I can.
The only way he can go is up.
So when you are saying children are being conditioned, so the conditioning could also work the opposite way.
Yes. Like I said, Dhirubhai Ambani, the conditioning was scarcity. At his home, his father, if you see that movie Guru, it is based on real, if you read all his books like Polyester Prince and Ambani and Sons, most of the books he has referred all these books and made this movie. His father used to always tell him that just shut up and do and work. go and do some job somewhere. Don't try to do his business stuff. But he took it opposite, like it is kind of rebel mentality. You are saying, so let me do something and show you that this is what I can. But it works both ways. Somebody will say, okay, my family, my father also believed like this, he behaved like this, I will also behave like this. Somebody will say, I will not. I will just do exactly opposite, and he might be rich. But what point I want to make here is, Mr. Bachchan and all these people actually went down, but the blueprint was for success. So they again came back. And somebody like who has got, if you see in Panvel, they are selling lands. So somebody has ancestral land and he sells it, he suddenly gets a lot of money. But after 5 years, he again down to zero. Because his blueprint is scarcity, lack of money. So again he will go back to that same. Thermostat also, you know that temperature, it goes down again, it will bring to the same. So autopilot, thermostat, they are the classic example of our blueprint. If what we think we are, will go there. See, it is said that we cannot be bigger than our dreams. We cannot be bigger than our dreams. So people have to dream very big. And you have to believe that I can make the dream to reality. Okay.
There is a book, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, if you see people use this word interchangeably, dream and goal. So say there is some word called goal and there is a word called dream. So what, in your opinion, will be the difference? Or is it same? Dream and goal.
Goal means it's a particular fixed target that you want to achieve or reach that. And goal, dream is something what you feel that yes, I can, just willing that I should be like that.
Like Abdul Kalam said, dreams is what you see in the night when you sleep, and goals are the things which will not allow you to sleep. They will make you awake. That is one thing. But in actual fact of the matter is, dream and goal, the basic difference is, goal has action plan and dates attached to it. I will do this. I want to buy Mercedes. So I will say, I would like to have Mercedes in my life. That is dream. But I will be having Mercedes by year 2017 December. By December 31st, 2017, I will have my own Mercedes. Okay, now this is goal. When I have action plan written, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. If this goes wrong, I will do this. This is plan B, plan C, whatever. But if I have action plan attached to my dream, that is goal. Otherwise, it is मैं माधुरी दीक्षित बनना चाहती हूँ. Picture आया था hit हो गया. If you say I want to have Mercedes, I want to be this, but how? If I don't know how, then there is a problem. Okay. So when somebody says I want to do this, in fact, Dhirubhai Ambani has written in one of the books that he said, if you set any goal, and if you have action plan for it, you will achieve it. You set any goal in life, and if you have action plan, you will achieve it. If you don't have action plan, sorry.
Goal plus action.
Yeah. If it is no action plan, it is dream. So when I say goal, it is action plan is there.
But the goal should be reachable, no?
Yeah, you are right. But see, I will tell you again one more important thing. When we say this man is successful, he has done something which is not seemingly not possible.
Yeah.
When you say this goal is reachable, that is not success. Dhirubhai Ambani used to say, people, if you have a goal and you tell this to somebody, if 5 people don't laugh at your goal, it is not a goal. People should laugh at it. What nonsense you are talking about. 5 people say this, then you are successful. See, last year you have done 100 rupees business. This year you are saying I will do 120 rupees business. Natural growth. But when you say I will do 500 rupees business, people will laugh at you. How it is possible? Last year you did 100 rupees. Now this year you are trying to do 500 rupees. What nonsense? People will laugh. And that is when you become successful. That is when you reach that 500, people will call success. If you reach 120, it is not success. It is natural progression. Are you getting me? So impossible dreams and achieving them is success. Possible dreams is not success. A 16-year-old guy going and playing to Abdul Qadir and hitting sixes, seemingly impossible, success, Sachin Tendulkar. So you take any successful story, there is some impossibleness attached to it, that is what is success. If it was possible, it wouldn't have been success. So what you are saying is correct, but goals have to be outlined. It is called, there is one word called BHAG, B-H-A-G. B-H-A-G, that is big, hairy, audacious goal. It has to be audacious. The goal has to be audacious. You should say, I want Mercedes, I want 10 Mercedes. People should laugh at you and then you should think, how am I going to do that? What should I do so that I reach there? But people generally decide, okay, my capacity is so much, I will reach there, so let me set goal that I will reach there. In fact, I will tell you the biggest tragedy is, I think 99.99% people don't set goals because we are also one of the animals. There are animals and we are also one of the animal. And every animal, if you see, has one strength. Every animal has one strength if you look at closely. And what is our strength? We are also animals. So in fact, we are the most vulnerable physically. Yash Chopra, person of Yash Chopra's caliber, person of Yash Chopra's money caliber, so much money, and one machar is biting him and he's dead.
But
that may be dengue or whatever.
no, but that was it's just negligence. The basic point is that
but even
if I got a fever,
mosquito can kill you.
Yes.
So we are vulnerable. A mosquito can kill a person, so we are vulnerable. Mosquito cannot kill elephant. Mosquito cannot go and bite him and elephant will not die.
Ant can kill.
He cannot kill. So ant can kill, maybe he can go inside. But our strength is thinking ability.
Yes.
Most of the people die with the music in them. They don't know what they are capable of because they never thought about it. So Dhirubhai Ambani used to always say that there is no monopoly on thoughts. No? You can think whatever you want to. And only thing is you have to just get back and see this is what I want to do. See, everybody wants to set goals. I will do this, I will do that.
Now, one thing, goal and action plan. Goal is there. Why we can't able to take action? Is it because of fear of failure?
That is one. And other most important thing is discipline. See, when I decide to do something, I have to go after it. Amir Khan will take perseverance. Amir Khan will take 6 months to sign on the dotted line for a movie or any project. He will study very hard. Once he signs, he owns it. Then he will not look back. It is said that failures will start well and successful ends well. You take some project in your hand and you take it to logical and successful completion. That is how successful people behave. Now, our main stage, as I was telling you, thinking ability, and that is conditioned by parents. Parents put boundaries against your thinking ability. You might fly, you don't know. We never tried. Shatrughan Sinha in one of the movies, one of the interviews said, अगर चाहो तो आसमान को छेद गिर सकता है, चाहो तो आसमान को छेद गिर सकता है, एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो. आज तक, till today, nobody has actually thrown a stone at sky, trying to break the sky. Nobody has ever tried. Okay, so people will always think possible things, and that is why they remain mediocre. If people who think out of the box, something which is impossible seemingly, and they achieve it and they become. Now, when Wright brothers said, "I will make metal fly," they were put behind bars. They were in New York Times. It was said that there are people who are making black magic, but they proved how it can be possible. So every miracle is supported by science is acceptable. Likewise, thinking ability can actually, in fact, you believe me, you start experimenting that. I will give you one biggest advantage what God has given us. That is conscious mind or subconscious mind. Subconscious mind can achieve anything. That is one thing. Achieve anything. We put boundaries of conscious mind. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do. Now, when you are sleeping, when you sleep on the bed, and before you actually go to sleep, there is a time when you sleep and you actually fall asleep. There is a time of say 5 minutes. That is a golden period when conscious mind is handing over to subconscious mind.
Before sleep.
Yeah, before sleeping. Once you go to sleep, subconscious mind takes over. When the machar is sitting on your hand, it will do that. You don't know. Subconscious mind is doing that. You don't know. You are breathing. You are digesting the food. Subconscious mind is doing that. You are not. Okay? When this handing over, taking over takes place, is very important time. When conscious mind gives the process and control to subconscious mind, that time, whatever is the last thought in your mind will come true in your life. That's the biggest strength we have. The last thought in your mind before you actually fall asleep, subconscious mind will work on that thought for 7 to 8 hours and it will make it reality next day. Most of the time, people think about today's problems before they go to sleep. आज वाइफ से झगड़ा हुआ, पड़ोस से झगड़ा हुआ, ऑफिस में ये हुआ. We are thinking about the problems and we fall asleep. Again, the problems come next day. Whatever may be the problem, you should think about the things which you want. Suppose I want Mercedes. So when you lie down on the bed, you imagine that you are driving in Mercedes. Your family is sitting next to you. You are going to that bazaar. You think about that, and if you sleep during those thought process, Mercedes will come in your life.
And when you get up, that first thought.
Absolutely, I'm coming to that. And once you get up, again the handover takeover starts. When suppose you want, say Mercedes again, so you put a brochure of Mercedes somewhere. Once you get up, you should go and look at that car. Whatever you want, it will come in your life. So that is.
Depends on reality.
You try it. I am 100% sure. If you try, it will happen in your life. Because that is a strength which we have, and which we are see when we don't use something, we automatically abuse something. Now, most of the time, it is said that in human mind, every day 63,000 different thoughts come, and most of the thoughts, the person who is successful has lesser negative thoughts than the person who is failure. It is all about quality of your thoughts. Now, what you try this when you before sleeping, if you think about something next day, you try with small thing, and you will start realizing. And once you start believing that it happens, you can actually create miracles. You can actually write your own life. But our conditioning of failure doesn't allow us to think that feeling. It tells you, when I think that I should have 100 crores in bank, 100 crore rupees in bank, my conscious mind pokes me and says, how what nonsense you're talking? You're earning itna sa. Why you're thinking of 100 crores? Where it will come from? So conscious mind is logical mind. It will pull the subconscious mind. But if you throw that to wind, like the child, he doesn't know. So we should develop that habit of taking our thoughts to where we want to be. And one more thing, the subconscious mind doesn't understand logic. It understands feelings. Please understand, it understands feelings. So when I think this man should fail in life, I get a feeling of failure, and instead of me, I may have some failure in front of me. I don't know about him, but it will happen to the person who thinks about him. So when I think about somebody, even if he is my enemy, I should say he should be happy. He should be successful. Because that feeling will come in my mind, I will be successful.
Even for enemy.
Even for enemy. So people, if you see Sachin Tendulkar, Amitabh Bachchan, show me one interview where they have said wrong about somebody. They have said this man is bad. They have never said that. They will say no comments, but they will not utter a word which is negative about somebody. So when you talk about even your worst enemy, you wish him well. Because whatever you think for somebody else, you experience that feeling. You know what happens? Suppose I give you acid, and there is a glass in your hand, and you put that acid in that glass, and I told you that this person comes, you go and throw on his face. Now that person, when he will come, you don't know. You are waiting with that acid in that glass. Before that person comes, this acid is going to affect the glass. I don't know when that guy will come, but this is already started affecting the glass. So if I have a grudge against somebody, that grudge starts affecting me. So the best feeling is love, gratitude, and wishing good for. Like I said, you have to think health, happiness, and prosperity to everybody we meet. We should only talk about that. I've seen a lot of people, in fact I've seen somebody in Lucknow, that guy never talks anything negative. If somebody talking negative, he'll just walk off. He doesn't want to listen also. In fact, our papers, very bad to say, but newspaper front page, it's all about negative news. Somebody is losing hands, somebody falls from the track and loses legs, somebody is raped, somebody is this, that. It is so traumatic. At least don't read when you get up. People have the habit of taking the newspaper and going to washroom, and they set their mind for the negative things for the day. So my humble request is here, take some, like person of your age, take some motivational book in first thing in the morning, and at least read one page, everybody. At least we read one page of that, it will psych us.
Even newspapers, I used to buy Times of India. I stopped Times of India. I buy DNA, rubbish. Now I started only with Mint.
Oh.
Mint is
Finance.
It's a good paper where you no negativity given in there.
In fact, in Times of India, if you want positivity, you go to sports page. They talk about this guy won, this guy made century, this guy made triple century, this guy won this. Okay, if you are losing side, then I think that's negativity. But they will talk about somebody who has done something.
But you may look at sports page, but people at home, they will be looking at capital, the
When is
franchise.
the best time when to read this time?
We have to read the Times of India also, we have to know. But maybe during the day, not first thing in the day. The first thing in the day is very, very, very important. First thought which is going on mind, because that is going to set the day for us. You are actually programming the day for yourself. So that time we should think about positive things. Now this is the age where the kids' blueprint is set. Between 3 and 8. Very, very important age group, where whatever that child is fed mentally will remain with him for life. And we feed garbage that time, and then the guy becomes, the boy grows up and becomes failure in life, and we curse him. It is not that he used to curse. That is why I am conducting lectures for parents, because they are instrumental in the success or failure of that child when he grows up. Because they are programming, it is a clay. you give whatever shape you want to. Right? So between 3 and 8 is very important age. Now programming also, parents should understand there are 3 types of programming which we now unknowingly we are doing it, but let us understand what these types of programming are. First is verbal. The child, whatever is hearing, again that is getting programmed. I can't do this. It is very difficult. It is difficult. It is impossible. It is. I cannot. I'm scary. It is very scary. I cannot watch that this horror movie. All these things, whatever is hearing, and that is getting programmed. My mother is saying this. My father is saying this. It must be like that. So what the words we utter, like Amir Khan never fought in front of kids. He never fought with Reena in front of kids because he didn't want to hear them those words which we use in fighting. That modeling is what you see. That is also very important. Now this TV is a dishing out garbage that you have to understand and control at least between 3 and 8. What he is actually watching. So because sometimes what I've seen parents want to talk, like mother and father, they want to talk about something and the kid is bothering them, they will say TV laga, keep on watching the TV. And the child is watching it and I don't know what he's getting into.
It's a poison.
It's poison. See, there are good things on TV, but most of the times you have to see what he's seeing. And special incidences, what he experiences. Like if you see a small child of 3 or 4 years old, he will get specs, he will get some number and he will be asked to wear specs. Because he is watching something which he doesn't want to watch. Maybe he is watching fights between his mother and father, or maybe his mother and grandmother. These are the things which he should not see also. He should not experience. Right? In one of the interviews I read that Ranbir Kapoor, he said Rishi Kapoor and Neetu Kapoor, they used to fight so desperately. He used to go out of his home and sit in the garden, shivering, what is happening. The 2 people whom I love the most, they are fighting. It creates insecurity amongst the mind of child. And that insecurity remains forever. So that is why if you see Ranveer Singh today, Ranbir Kapoor today, he is very calm, controlled. He doesn't get excited because he thinks I cannot express emotion now. He has become like Buddhist monk. Because he saw those fights and he has gone to that level that nothing is going to affect him now. Now the picture's success or failure doesn't affect him. But Neetu and Rishi, that time they didn't realize what is happening. It worked for him better, in a better way. It could have been another way also. So kids see lack of money, so they always think of scarcity. If they find their father or mother is always pinching pennies, he will also think I should do like that. He may be very rich, he will also always think like that. And the other is reverse. Reverse is true, like I said, Dhirubhai Ambani or maybe Dawood, where they saw scarcity at home, but they rebelled. They said enough is enough, I will go and earn. I don't have my father doesn't know, I will make sure that I earn so much that I will be taking care of them. Now school, as I said, teachers, they are also biggest confidence busters. What they do, in fact, our schooling system is most flawed because whatever schooling system is designed, that is designed by Britishers. And they wanted people who are good managers, not leaders. They wanted who somebody will work under my instruction. They didn't want somebody to use his brain. So their same system is again continuing. We should change that also. We should create leaders. We should create people who will think differently. We should create people. Now, if you see 3 Idiots, he says machine. What is the definition of machine? Amir Khan says something, he says what nonsense you are talking about. Then he wants a definition which is there in the book. So he doesn't want something which is out of the book, or doesn't want something which is simple. So that is how the system is creating employees, not employers. Please understand, they wanted employees. Now what happens is, normally we are saying this rank, he stood first. So let us give him prize. You know, there are 100 students and one guy stands first. You are actually killing confidence of 99 other guys. This system should be abolished. Why you are giving? Because that man, suppose there is a drawing competition, somebody stands first and everybody is made to feel that you are not good, but he may be good in singing. Why should we say that you are not good in drawing? Because God has given strength to see everybody who has come, like all of you, all of me, including me, everybody has one strength which God has given, which we do the best. And people don't realize that. So if you sing well, I should not get scared. That is your problem. I may do something better, which I know I can do and nobody else can touch me. So this ranking system actually encourages one guy and discourages 99 others. If you see these programs where I was watching the Dance India dance for kids, where somebody was out, he was supposed to go, that kid. Then I think Javed Jafri or somebody said, you are as good as him, but unfortunately you are losing now. That should be at least told to him. They said, unfortunately you didn't perform as well as he did today, but you are as good as him. So don't take it as a failure. You may not have performed today, but you are as good as him. So he gets convinced, I am also as good as him. Maybe today was a maybe bad day. But here a school teacher tells him, he is put on pedestal, he is number 1, he is number 2. And these are useless, but they may be useful somewhere else. But that's the biggest confidence buster. Yeah.
No, their self-esteem become low.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is why where parents come into picture. When the child goes home and says, "Ki mom, I lost this," the mom should encourage him. Ki don't worry. In fact, Amir Khan used to play badminton in school, and he used to play so well, though he used to always win. So his mother used to always stand and he's playing and he used to win and he used to come with a trophy and things like that. So once his mother said, every time you're winning, the person who lost, he must have felt bad, right? The mother told Amir Khan. That is the empathy she taught him. Then Amir Khan started thinking, if I'm winning, somebody else is losing. So I should go to him and also talk to him and say, yeah, you played well. So today, Amir Khan said, my mom taught me how to look at somebody who's failed. You have to actually go and encourage him also. Because his mom was so good, when her own son has won, but still she's telling him, look at that guy also who is failed, so you should encourage him also. Very few mothers are like that. Is why Amir Khan is very used to it. Okay, now if you see, the parents also will abuse the child. You cannot stand for such a small competition, there are only 10 guys, still you stood second, why? They will actually kill his confidence. They should be able, they should tell him, enough, ho gaya, next time, you will do it next time, don't worry. There is one scene, you must have seen Tare Zameen Pe movie by Amir Khan. Where there is one scene where Amir Khan tells the father of that child, where he says in Somalia or somewhere, there is one tree. I don't know how they make the tree fall. They go and start abusing the tree. They curse that tree. Without touching that tree, tree falls. Every day they go and curse. Every day they go and curse, and the tree falls. And that is what mother and father, who supposed to love the child the most, they curse it. That you are no good. You cannot study. You are bad at this. You are bad at that. And then that big tree is falling off. What will happen to that child who is 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 years old? And for the child, his mother, father and teachers, they are role model. He feels they are God. Whatever they are saying now today, now this door is open and Sai Baba comes in. And Sai Baba says something, you will all believe. Likewise, for them, mother and father, they are like God. So the mother, father and teachers are saying you are no good. They believe that I am no good. And like that elephant who grows up but still doesn't break that rope, they will not try something which they could have done, but they will say it is not my cup of tea. And who made them think? Who made the blueprint? Mother, father and teacher. So it is a very big job in parents' hands that they have to. In fact, encouragement will make you do beyond your limits. Encouraging a child, he will go beyond his own limits. He will surprise himself. And discouragement, he will not be able to reach his potential also. You know, the people say, I am successful, this guy is successful. Successful is not in relation to somebody else. I am successful because he is failure. No. I am successful because my potential was this and I have done justice to my potential. My potential was earning 100 rupees, I have earned 110 rupees, I am successful. That guy's potential is 200 and he has earned 150. He has earned more than me, but he is failure. Because he has done injustice to his potential. So most of the time, parents will make sure that you don't believe in your own potential. You don't do that, is not your job. Don't even try that. You cannot do that. That is what mothers and fathers do. I have been hearing that continuously. Wherever I go, I see mother and father discouraging the child that you can't do. In fact, we should encourage failure.
Yeah, but you can't blame parents, they don't have knowledge.
Absolutely, that's why I'm thinking of opening a school. There should be schools where parenting is taught. It is a very big and difficult science. It is not easy.
I think, sir, you need people of your caliber to encourage the parents in schools.
Yes,
so
yes.
when parents teachers meetings, I think these are the places where your ability will be of very
I am trying that only. I want to give, that is the only way I can give back to society whatever I got. Because I feel these children should be brought up in such a way. That is how India will, even today, if you see most, I was reading somewhere, Android, like Google has a team of 13 core people, 13 top team, management team. And out of the 13, about 4 or 5 are Indians. And this Android was developed by one Indian. At that day I was reading the article in Times of India Sunday. They have given all those inventions are actually developed by Indians, but are working under some Larry Page. Google's owner is Larry Page. They are working under Larry Page is the person who said, okay, I will open Google company, and he appointed these guys, Indians, who are super brains, but they are nameless.
But that also is because the facilities available abroad encourages the people to put their potential to the maximum.
That is one thing, yes. But in fact, if you see, generally kite flies against the wind. So success, when you do something against in adversity, that is success. So if you don't have certain thing, in fact, if you see all the inventions have happened because of some problem.
Lack of
some issue, that like the telephone. Graham Bell, his mother couldn't hear properly, so he made that instrument. Now coming back, like I always, I've learned a lot from Dhirubhai Ambani. That's why I give you examples. Dhirubhai Ambani used to say, there are certain qualities of Dhirubhai Ambani people may question, but he had huge imagination, dream big. He always dreamed big. He never thought I will do this and be happy. He used to say one thing, very important thing for a parent to know, because see now if you make if you have good food like dish, you got all the good ingredients and you made a good dish. What is that one factor which is absolutely free, or maybe at very cheaper cost you will get it? Salt. If the salt is not there, the food is useless. Likewise, the failure is not there, success cannot come, and people run away from failure. Dhirubhai Ambani had said, if you want to be successful, double your failure rate. If you want to be successful, double your failure rate. I will explain. He said, if I do something for 5 times, if I fail, I will do it 10 times. If I fail, I will do it 20 times. If I fail, I will do it 40 times. Failure is something when you accept defeat. We say, okay, enough, I am not good. Nobody can be failure unless you become failure, you accept failure. Now, if you see the two people are fighting this boxing match, and one falls down. When he falls, he is not declared as loser. When he is declared as loser?
When he cannot get up.
Yeah, when he refuses to get up. He is not able to, cannot, or refuses to get up. He says, okay, it's not possible not to get up. Then he is declared as loser. So in life also, when you fall, you don't lose. When you refuse to get up, you lose. And people like Dhirubhai Ambani, they fail and got up. They fail and got up. And that quality, only parents can teach child. And because we should encourage failure, you should say, great job, you have failed thrice, good. Now 4th time you will win, go and try again. And don't worry about failure. Failure is, in fact, stepping stone. It is not stumbling block. Dhirubhai used to say, how you look at it, stumbling block or stepping stone. Now, I was on Sunday, there is one interview which comes on NDTV between 10:30 and 11. There, Ronnie Screwvala and Brian Lara was interviewed by Rajdeep Sardesai. So he was asked, Ronnie Screwvala, why you became so successful? He said there is one ingredient which people miss. For you to be successful, you need failure. And people consider failure as full stop, but it is just a comma. The man who considers failure as comma, he will go and succeed. But people think, enough, khatam, I cannot do it beyond this. And people always see, now you have seen, and all good things come through a lot of hardships. Like this Kamal, what do you call it? Lotus, he's in teacher, he's in that garbage line. There's rose, has thorns. So every good thing will have some problem, you have to fight that problem. And so my only, now time is running out, I keep on telling parents that you have to encourage failure. You should encourage the child that good you have failed, don't worry. Now Dhirubhai Ambani, I will close this with one last example I will give of Dhirubhai Ambani. He was given Wharton Business School of Management came and gave him honorary degree, that you take this MBA degree. And that time was asked in an interview that if you have to tell us one quality of yours which made you so successful, the person who is going to common toilet in 1965 is sponsoring World Cup in 1997. How come you, why this meteoric rise? What quality? He said, I have one quality which anybody can use, anybody can implement, but nobody does it, and that is why they are failure. What? The quality is, he said, there is no gap between my thought and action. Between my thought and action, there is no gap. I have a thought of something, I have a thought of doing something, I immediately do it. And that is a biggest immediate. People have this big gap and they fall in this gap and they are dead. They cannot achieve that. So he was
procrastination.
Procrastination is the biggest problem. See, and he was asked then the next question was, then this is mindless action because you are not thinking about it. So you may fail more. He said exactly, I failed more. Because he said Tata's failed for 100 years. I wanted to fail in 20 years. So I had to fail 5 times more. Because you know, experience is the name you give to your mistakes. Experience is the name you give to your failures. Right? So he said, I want to fail. But he said, people fail backwards, I fail forward. How? How can you fail forward? Failing forward is a concept Dhirubhai developed. People fail backwards. He said, when you fail forward, you learn something out of it. If I fail and learn something, it is failing forward. I have moved ahead. I have not moved back. So he said, I failed. Then instead of crying about the failure, I asked myself, what did I learn here? What made me failure here? What went wrong? And that mistake I never repeated. Then again I went for the next thing. Again I must have failed. I found out what is that. In fact, success lures you into complacency. And failure is the biggest teacher. But we look at the outcome that I have failed and we keep on crying. We don't look at that silver lining about some learning which that failure has given us. So please understand, whenever we fail, instead of brooding, we have to ask ourselves, what did I learn here? And tell yourself that I will not repeat this mistake again. I will not repeat. If you do that, and this is what parents have to tell the child, that don't worry, be happy that you have failed. But you tell me what you learned. When the child fails, he should be asked what you learned. Let him think like that. When he is conditioned, blueprint like that, anytime he fails, he will think what did I learn. He will not think of failure. He will think of learning. And that learning will be positive, he will be happy in that failure. So, everybody always used to say, celebrate the failure. Don't worry about celebrating success. People will take care of that. Celebration will start. But you inside should celebrate the failure by learning something new, that this is what I have learned out of this. Okay? So, we have time or we should?
We have
Yes, sir, we have
5 minutes we have.
Oh, no.
And you can continue, sir.
No, I will. Okay. And the other, if you see, yeah, I will continue. Now, if you see kids falling sick, they want attention. Because the kid never gets attention from his parents. And then sometimes he will fall sick and then the parents will be after him. Then every time he has the mentality of falling sick.
But that can also have an adverse effect, sir. Because children tend to purposely fall sick.
Yeah, that is what happens. They want the attention of their mother and father. In fact, there was a small kid who asked his father, how much you earn in an hour? In 1 hour, how much you earn? The father got angry, why you want and all that. And he just asked the child to go and play and don't ask this silly question. But after some time, the father started thinking, why is he asking me so? Then again the father goes to the kid and says, Beta, you tell me why you are asking me. He said, no, just like that. But can you tell me how much you earn in an hour? And he said, for example, he said 1,000 rupees. So I earn 1,000 rupees per hour. Then the child immediately runs to his room and his father also goes behind him. So the child takes out money from somewhere and he's counting his piggy bank, he's counting the money. And the father is asking, what happened? So he said, no, I have only 300 rupees. So can you lend me 700 rupees so that I can buy your 1 hour? I want you to be with me for 1 hour. So I will pay you 1,000 and be with me for 1 hour. That is what in fact kids think like that. Because they know he's running after money.
They want quality time.
In fact, they don't get time also. You see the child is trying to talk to father and father is watching TV, he will say, shut up, let me complete this program. That program will never get completed. And the child is talking some gibberish. For him, that is the word. He wants to tell you something, but the father says, yeah, he is not interested in that. And when the child grows up and the father becomes 60 plus, the child doesn't listen to him, they see he is not a good son. But when he wanted attention, he never gave. So that is why he is repaying that. Now, there was a small girl who asked her mother that you have this jewelry, so will you give this jewelry to our maid? In the morning you give this jewelry to the maid and evening you again take it back. Will you give? She said, no, how can I give? It is so precious. So the child said, you give me to her full day. So am I not precious than the jewelry? But you cannot give jewelry, but you can give me. That is what happens. I have seen these maids behaving very rudely with the child.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very rudely.
Absolutely.
In fact, in Bangalore, it came in Times of India. There was a child about 8 months old, and whenever both the parents were working, when the parents used to come back, the child was used to be ekdam thakela, very pale now. So the mother started thinking, what is happening? Then one afternoon she came for whatever reason she came home. So there was a maid. So when she opened the door, she saw the maid sitting on the sofa and watching TV. And she said, where is the child? So the child, she gave it to beggars. 1 hour she was getting 200-300 rupees. So the beggars used to take the child, beg in front of Bangalore city. And evening they used to give the child. And they used to pay 200-300 rupees per hour. And now that maid was asked, where is the child? Then she got scared and said, this is what it is. Real life, Times of India, the article came. And that lady quit the job. So the maid, and they are trusting the maid. What they will do?
But children are
in
richest
this case-
treasure,
Richard?
Children are richest treasure.
Absolutely, they are richest.
No, some kids they seek attention. That's the
They
thing.
seek attention. They feel that if I fall sick, my mother is after me. Otherwise, she is not looking at me.
Exactly.
So they will develop a tendency of falling sick.
Yes.
They would love falling sick, and they will fall sick because their thought process will go to falling sick. They feel good. I should fall sick so that they are after me. They are looking after me. So they again and again fall sick.
They will give a good quality time.
Yeah, quality time, attention.
And most of the time, children learn sickness from their parents.
Yes,
My experience
yes.
with my child, she's 2, and she knows what sardi is. The moment she does, she licks and she says, "Sardi ho gaya." And day after yesterday, she was holding my leg and bukhar ho gaya.
Okay. Now, when we are talking about parents and the kids, in your opinion, who came first? Parents came first? Parents.
Baby becomes parent.
But actually,
Andamalaka Komdi Bhai.
Child is the father of man.
that is how he said. But actually, if you see, kids come first. In the sense, you have a man and woman, and the child is born. When the child is born, this man and woman is called father and mother. So after the child is born, they will become father and mother. Before that, they are not parents. So actually, the child comes first. In that, he is serial. Okay. So we'll talk about mental profile, how to parent a child.
Child gives birth to mother.
Absolutely, mother as well as father, right? Child gives birth. So like I said, the baby gives birth to father and the mother. And we have to understand the parents are junior actually. Because the child came maybe a few minutes earlier and then they were called mother and father. So they are junior. Why? Because so many things we can learn from the child, which I will talk about. Like they have the baby, he has qualities of, he is enlightened. The child is in present. He is not thinking about future or not regretting about past. He is not worrying about anything. Actually, he is like God. So one can learn a lot of things because he is there in the present. That is what enlightenment is all about. When we say he is an enlightened person, so he is staying in the present. Now, if you see, a lot of yogic mudras also have been taken from looking, I think so, that they have been taken from the child. Like when the child is born, he has this fist like this. His thumb is inside and the fist is like this.
Yeah.
So that is also yogic mudra. Now, and otherwise he is like this when he is sleeping. So that helps the breathing. And sometimes he is like this. This also, there are so many mudras there.
Five
This asana.
element, on the base of 5 elements.
Yeah, 5 elements. So so many things he is doing correctly. And what happens after that, we will discuss now. Now, see what I'm going to talk about is basically thought process. What thought process we give to a child, that is how he will turn out to be. So what